Um, I'm gonna get started pretty soon, but I don't know if anybody's here just yet. I'm not gonna start until I get a little bit more people, but I'm also just realizing that my screen isn't being shown, so I'm going to try to fix that really quick. Let's see here. Hmm. Hey, how's it going, Joel? New house is awesome, man. A lot of work to do though. Um, we got we've been fixing things up, and but it's really amazing, man. It's so good to be out of the city. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to figure out why we can't see my screen here. So hold on one second. Uh, Sorry about this. Okay. Let's try this. So sorry about this. Um, for some reason, it is not showing my Photoshop screen. I hate computers. God damn. Um, hmm. There we go. I think maybe now I might have fixed it. Let's see if that works. Okay. All right. Looks like I fixed it. Sorry about that, everybody. Um, cool. So, anyways, how's everyone doing? Um, what I want to do for this is I want to just have some fun, and I want to, I titled this um, elevated caricature elevated, and the reason I did that was because I wanted to do something more than just basic caricature. I wanted to talk about more about how I think when I'm drawing. When I'm drawing people, like just the different things that maybe are going through my mind. Um, and I wanted to spend some time just kind of sketching, kind of just doing some thumbnails, some doodles, a little bit like that, just to kind of play around a little bit before I commit to anything. And I just want to kind of take it, you know, just step by step and to see what happens, and um, maybe start painting one of them or just blocking something in. I have no idea how it's going to go yet, and I kind of like it that way because I want to be a little bit spontaneous. But I just want to do some sketching first. And so what I usually do is I create a new layer so that way I can sketching a different layer, and if I want to move it around a little bit, I can move it around, get rid of it. But I thought it would be really fun just to do some sketching, to play around, loosen up a little bit, warm up a little bit. Um, and I'm excited because I've been doing a lot of jobs lately where I don't get to have as much fun. I've been doing a lot of like kind of not editorial, but advertisement type stuff. And so I'm ready to have a little bit of fun here. So I picked some photos that I just thought were like really interesting people. Um, and there's so much really that, like with this guy here, there's so much that you could do. This is me in like 5 years, I think. Um, but anyways, I just want to kind of doodle around a little and just see what happens. Um, and sometimes like I'll start with like just a real basic suggestion, and almost like it's almost like scribbling, I guess. But it's just a kind of like marks I put down just to block out some shape, some form. But nothing that I'm too committed to, right away, because it's really easy to, like, oh, I just love this line so much, and you don't want to move it. So it's a lot more fun to just kind of just to play and see what happens with it. So that's what I want to do. And I'm kind of drawing, small here from a distance, and I tend to do that just when I'm quick doing like little doodles like this because I want to just, you know, see the whole thing at once and not really worry too much about the details. But I'm seeing like this kind of curve. I'm seeing like some fun shapes that I could just play around with. And again, not too concerned about like the getting the features just right. It's more at this time about, you know, what what drew me to this in the first place, and what do I want to do with it? What kind of fun do I want to have here? And the thing is, if you do like a quick little doodle like this, you don't feel too attached to it, so that you kind of feel like, oh, if it's not feeling right, you can just scrap it and try something else. Or maybe there's bits of it that you like, and so you can just play with those shapes and form a little bit. But I feel like if you fall in love with all your work immediately, you're not gonna have any fun. Just like marriage. No, I'm just kidding. Um, oh, I just got a message. This is how the screen looks for the viewer. Oh, crud. Okay, hold on a second. Gosh. Thanks, Randy. Um, all right, let me see if this works. Okay, I see your comments. I'm so sorry, guys. Um, someone ring his doorbell. I'm so sorry, guys. Tell me if you see this, okay? Let me know if this worked. Give it a little time. There's like a delay, Joel. And I also just noticed that my picture of myself is unnecessarily too large. We don't need that. Sorry, guys. All right. So sorry about that. So, anyways, I'm gonna keep sketching. Let me know if you guys see this. Sorry about the technical crap. I'll make it up to you. I'm gonna be doing this for a couple hours, so please forgive me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of just play around with some of these shapes. I like some of the shapes I've got so far, so I'm gonna just see what happens with this. And as you can see, I kind of keep it like really kind of rough and loose. As I said before, I'm not really committing to anything at this point. I'm kind of just like pushing things around just a little bit, um, just to see what happens. Um, all right, all right, cool. Everyone can see it. Okay, awesome. Sorry about that. I will uh, beat myself later for that. Um, so anybody get a chance to see my goodie bag? Anybody see that? My goodie bag on Lightbox. If you did, you're probably wondering what the hell was Siler doing? What was he up to? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I'll share the story if you guys know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, I'll just share it. But anyways, what I'm doing right now is just like really light rough blocking. Okay, um, and I like some of the form, some of the shape, but I wanna do more with it. So I'm just gonna kind of keep this for now. Let me just do a light sketch here. Do the shoulders. Well, maybe not that big. And then I'll just make a new layer and do another little doodle. Now that I kind of see some of those shapes. Um, what you talking about, Willis? All right, so, oops. So, anyways, there's a goodie bag. Uh, Lightbox has goodie bags for people that are part of this whole shebang. And they asked me if I had anything that I wanted to donate to the goodie bag. Um, be it a video, um, like demo or anything like that, painting demos. And so what I did was I had a demo that I had done for a friend. He asked me if I could show him some painting tips, and so I painted Jack Nicholson, like a portrait, not a caricature, a portrait of him. And he was more interested in seeing some portrait type stuff. And so what happened was I knew I had like almost 3 hours of this footage, and I was like, you know what? I'll just share that. That'll be kind of a fun thing for people. So I figured, I got that. Like I'll just donate that and see how that goes. And well, I should have looked at it first. I should have because I was recording it for a friend, and all of a sudden, Bobby Chu, he writes me, and he goes, "Dude, you're freaking hilarious, bro." He's like, "Your videos for the goodie bag are so funny, man. It's just hilarious." And so I sent them, I think, five or more videos, but they only used two of them. They used like the last two videos of the demo, and I listened to the first few. I went skip through, and I'm basically talking about what I'm doing step by step and all that kind of stuff. And then what happens is they just use the first or the last two, like I said, and I happened to be going through a lot of personal stuff at the time, and I was just sharing it with my friend that I was making the demo for. So, so Bobby Chu writes me, and he's like, "Dude, that was the funniest video ever." And I was like, "What are you talking about? I don't remember saying anything funny. Like maybe did I do like a Jack Nicholson impersonation or something? I don't know." He's like, "No, man. Like people thought you were pranking everybody. People are thinking that because you know what you were talking about." I'm like, "Oh man, I don't even remember what I was talking about. I have no idea what I said." So I went and I listened real quick, and oh my gosh, I started laughing so hard I was crying, like literally crying, because for like the first 20 minutes of my goodie bag demo, you'll watch me paint. I'm painting Jack Nicholson, but for the first 20 minutes, I don't say anything about Jack Nicholson. I instead I'm talking about how I've been a recent victim of check fraud, and how I have to like go to the police over and over again, and there's all these investigations, and I really need to get paid for these jobs, but they're holding these checks, and I'm going on and on about this, and then um, and then it gets worse because then I start talking about the fact that I have to get a colonoscopy, and I'm really nervous. Oh my gosh, that goes on for like 20 minutes. I talk about how my brother had to get one, and then because of that, my mom's nervous, and now I have to get a colonoscopy. So, anyways, um, if you if you watch the goodie bag, I'm just explaining to you guys that that is what is happening. I had no idea that that's what I sent. Um, but around 20 minutes or so in, I do start talking about the painting, and yeah. So, anyways, I should have listened. So, that was I mean, I couldn't believe how ridiculous that was. I told my wife, and she was just so embarrassed. Like, Jason, what the heck? Oh my gosh. I'll tell you guys something funny, if you don't mind. But so I've been married for 7 years, and I just found out what my wife really thinks about all my tattoos. All right, after 7 years of marriage, okay, we're at a family get together, and her family is like like Italian, okay, lots of people, lots of everyone's just drinking wine, hanging out, and her cousin, who is a Chicago police officer, just got engaged, and he's having like he's got his wife, his first fiance, and I'm meeting her family for the first time, and apparently I said something that was embarrassing to the like well to my wife anyways. Like she I don't remember what I said. I all I remember is that it was something about 70s porn. And I don't know why I said it. It was just I was in a goofy mood, and I just and I was talking to her cousin's fiance's mom for the first time, and I said some silly thing. I don't know what I don't like I said I don't remember. I actually have it in my stand up right now, and in my stand up I make up something that I probably would have said about 70s porn, but Anyways, she was so embarrassed and so upset. She's like, do you even like know how you come across to other people? I mean, are you even aware of how you look? I mean, look at you. And again, this is after 7 years of marriage. Look at you with all your tattoos. I was like, jeez, like I have no idea like what I said. And she's like, yeah, it's because you don't think before you say things. But I couldn't believe that. So after 7 years, I now know what my wife really thinks about my tattoos. I noticed this guy's chin has like almost looks like a shrunken nuts down here. I kind of play with that a little, play with those nuts a little bit. I think I'm gonna uh, bring that up more, smaller nuts. Sorry, it's okay to talk to yourself. Don't listen to what people say to you. It's okay. I know I'm not talking to myself, but it feels kind of like I'm talking to myself. Um, so this is what in my stand up. If you guys don't mind me, I'll share what I say. So in my stand up, when I say, I don't even know what I said that was so bad. I say, you told Valerie's mother, who you just met for the very first time, that you prefer 70s porn over everything else because you think it's funny that those women are now getting senior discounts at Chili's. Yeah, like it is funny. It's sexy and it's funny. So, anyways, what I'm doing right now is just playing around with again with these shapes. I want to push the shapes more. I'm just kind of taking a little bit more time with this because there's a lot of fun shapes here, to play around with. And I don't know exactly. Sometimes I see it exactly in my mind. Like I see something in my mind with this one, but I'm also I'm also wanting to push it a little bit in interesting shapes, and so I'm this is like an experimenting time, just kind of playing around. Like don't feel the pressure to have to be super fast all the time. You know what I mean? There's a lot of pressure. People are like, "Well, how fast? How fast did that take? Or how quick did you do that?" And a lot of my deadlines are insanely fast. Um, I don't know what that noise was. Um, Someone said, "Hi, how can you manage drawing with such likeness even when you distort so much all the forms proportions?" Um, that's a good question. I well, to me, this isn't even that exaggerated. But it seems like it, but I'm kind of drawing what I see. I mean, the guy kind of looks like this to me. So in a way, I'm just showing you how I see him. But I do want to, I'm trying to also notice certain characteristics. Like the first little doodle I did was okay, but now I want to kind of play with the fact that I'm kind of seeing some interesting motion and shapes and so on. So it it's about basically I guess what I'd say is it's kind of like capturing an impression, and that's what I'm trying to do. Um, in a way, this guy looks to me like a like a what do you call those things? Those big like lion like sea lions, those walruses or whatever. He's got that kind of a feel to him. Um, and so I'm gonna just kind of push some of those shapes, and I think I like the way that this is feeling. So I wanna I'm just gonna experiment and see what happens with it. And how do you make a decision on which part to push? Um, that's another good question. What I do is I try to feel about I try to look at the person and feel the weight of the person. And I'm not just talking like, oh, if this person is fat or whatever. I mean like the distance between like the forehead, like so some people will have a high forehead, some will have like a heavier chin. So I try to like determine that, like where's the weight, or how wide is their head, like what's the distance between their nose and their mouth, what's the distance between their eyes from each other, their eyes to the nose. So I kind of just start to think about those sorts of things. And and like I said, like if I'm just doing a quick light sketch, it's kind of like sculpting. Like I'm not committing to any line right now. I'm just having fun with these shapes, um, and I kind of just want to see where that goes. Like this could, I might pull this neck more that way. Um, yeah. So it's. I think what I would say is don't be afraid to play and have fun. Um, don't be afraid to try something. Like, oh, this might, I'm seeing this shape. Some people are too afraid because they're afraid they're gonna mess it up. It's like, well, go ahead, mess it up. It's not like, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's just experiment. And the thing is when you're working digitally, it's even better because like who cares? You can. It's so easy to change things and just I just try to like keep in mind that this is supposed to be fun. I'm supposed to be playing around, you know, and having a good time. Like drawing is fun. Sketching is fun. And when you start to feel the person come alive in your work, like you're like, okay, this is starting to feel right. This is starting to look like what my impression basically. And that's what caricature really is to me, anyways. Is it's really just an impression. My impression, my feeling of the person. So this is feeling a little bit more fun to me. Um, I'm trying to like get. I want to get a really nice silhouette. I think a silhouette is really good. Like capturing a really good shape is really cool. And so I'm trying to do that. Um, and here's the thing too. This guy has a really unique shape because you could go extra tall with the forehead as well, but I really like this weight down here. So it's kind of like a decision, like do I want to push this weight more? Like there's a few things. Let's do this. Let's see. Reminds me of semi ink drawing where you try to capture the essence of someone rather than replicating it. Yeah. Have you thought of combining your caricature skills with comedy in a sense of maybe making a comic strip or gags? Eh, this is what I have thought of, Henry. Is maybe one day, if I get you know big enough to do a special or a bigger show, maybe because I do some impressions, maybe I could like have caricatures I paint of the people like that project behind me. Like that might be a cool thing. But here's one thing I was gonna say. Like there's some options here. Right now I'm gonna make a copy of my drawing, and I'm just gonna select the mouth here, and I'm just gonna move it down just a little bit because I was thinking like maybe that you know let's see. So this is part of just playing around. This is what's nice about digital as well because you can kind of just move this around real quick just to see. So like if I did that, maybe push his nose a little bit more like this. So his nose is going to be coming up like this. And then and then let's see. So this might be a little bit more funny to those shapes. And then also the other thing I was thinking is maybe we can put his head up even more. You know. So I in one way I'm sort of a purist. Like I don't want to hack. I used to be more like strict like with myself. Like don't hack it up. Don't pull things around. That's cheating. But it's like no, it's just playing around. Like I want to see what I can, what you can do, and it's just a part of the tool. I do prefer to just draw it instead, if I can, but you know, it's not that end of the world to do some editing like that. Because overall, like I'm trying to get this nice silhouette right now. Like I'm gonna draw really dark so you can see what I'm talking about. Um, so like to me, this shape here is really interesting. Almost looks like Homer Simpson or something like that. So I like that shape. I like the way it's feeling. So I think I'm gonna sketch a little bit more with this one, and I might ask this one to marry me, and commit to it. We'll see. Um, um, Project behind you. Yeah, that would grab attention. Like one of those amusement park character guys keeping the customer. Yeah, yeah, that could be interesting. But right now with the comedy stuff, just focusing on the material and stage presence and all that kind of stuff, um, which is it's been going well. And I actually did stand up last night and had a really good set. Um, it was a lot of fun. Now here's something I feel like this guy. I want to start like kind of sketching in the details a little bit, and I'm probably going to adjust things and change them. I don't think I'm going to do a super super tight drawing because I think I want to start painting. But I look at the overall shape of this, and I really like the way it looks. And I look back and forth at the guy, and I'm like, I don't really think his ear should be that big. He doesn't have a huge ear. He's got and this happens sometimes in caricature. It's like you look at he's got a really interesting ear shape, or someone's nose might have an interesting look, and then you feel like, oh, I should exaggerate that. Um, but it's more about exaggerating maybe the shape, but not really the size. And when I look at his ear, uh, if I make it too big, it's going to take away from the mass and the structure of his head. So I think if I make his ear a little bit smaller like this, um, and just rise it up just a teeny bit there, that it's actually going to be a lot stronger looking. Um, and then we can come in here like this and pull that back. Um, and let's see. All right, so I love this weight and this crease down here. It's really nice. I don't think I would like it. It's gonna happen. Eventually you're gonna get like friggin' I have sympathy for this guy. Gonna get a big blobby neck. When that happens, you just have to start dressing like insane clown posse. Just put some clown makeup on. You're good to go. You won't be allowed to hang out near children, but uh, that's for the better. You'll be a terrifying clown person. Anyways, okay. So there's so many different ways you could go about the exaggeration with this because like it could push these eyes more in like this direction, like the swoop. So there's a lot that can be done, and um, a lot of times when I'm working on something like this, as I'm drawing or even as I start painting, I'll notice different things, and those things will tend to change or push. I'll change the form. Like I said, I don't really ever stick with it. Like I'm not afraid to make adjustments if something could be better. You know, I want to make it better. So there was other people I was thinking of sketching too, but I kind of really now that I started drawing this guy, I kind of feel like I really want to work on this a little bit. If you guys don't mind, I'm feeling like the vibe here. So um, let's take a look at this a little bit bigger. So if I go back to the original doodle, let's do that. Let's go back to the original doodle here. I'll make that larger too so you can see it. So, really quick thumbnail sketch that is, just rough scribble basically with just pushing some of the form, some of the shape. And there's some elements to it I like, but it's just a rough idea, right? Then the second thumbnail, which I think definitely is going in the right direction, but then when you compare it to what I've got now, I feel like this is a lot more interesting. Um, it's a lot more, dynamic uh, as far as the shapes and everything. But again, it can still evolve and still push as I work on it. Um, okay. Hey, Jason, looks great. Thank you so much. Stella says, "Hey, nice name there, Stella. My daughter's name is Stella." Hi, Jason. May I ask, when you say feel the weight, for example, the chin in this character, do you imagine the real fat tissue bone underneath, or do you just imagine it as a block of mass? Good question, and the answer to that is both. I do think about the fact that there's the bone and structure under there. And again, that stuff can move around while I'm working. I don't commit to it. Like I might realize, oh, I need to adjust this for this to actually make sense. But again, with caricature, you don't necessarily. It depends on what kind of caricature you want to do, like what kind of aesthetic that you want to have. Like some caricature, you might draw a guy from the side and you might make his one cheekbone just go crazy, and the other cheekbone's not really doing that. But the guy might look like he's got this really intense cheekbone coming out. But the thing is if you grab that guy and you want to try to turn him around and animate him, he's going to look really weird because one side of his face is going to be stretched in one direction. And there's nothing wrong with that kind of caricature. Excuse me. For me personally, I like to try to think of the person in a more structural way where it works anatomy wise, and you could actually imagine the person being turned in different directions. You know what I mean? I think that is a little bit more my cup of tea. But there's no like one way to do that. Hello from Aguada. been a fan and follower of yours. I purchased some of your Gumroad videos and appreciate the demo. Awesome. Thanks, Wolfer. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Um, add some tusks. You have a walrus. Like, yep, exactly. Look at that. Some big tusks there. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking in my mind. Um, and you know what? Looking at this now too, I'm just gonna play with this. I, this is a good stage to kind of just play a little bit. Um, let's see. Okay. So that slight push over, I did that because again I want to try to push the weight and the shapes here a little bit more. So basically now it's to a point where I could start blocking in and painting, but before I do that, real quick, I want to come in here and I want to zoom in and show you how loose it is. But I want to try to get a little bit of structure in here, a little bit of drawing, so that way when I start painting, um, there's a little bit more going on than just some scribble lines. I don't really have to. I could start painting right now. There's enough information, but I think that just some like nice drawing lines in here, just around the features. Just gonna kind of put some of those in real quick. Um, my daughter Sienna is so cute. Um, she loves that I've been doing stand up comedy. She doesn't she just thinks it's cool that I go someplace and I hold the microphone and I do comedy. Like she has no idea really. She's only 3. She's gonna be 4 soon, but um, she's whenever I go, she's like, "Daddy, you gonna go tell jokes with the microphone on the stage with the lights and make people laugh?" And I'm like, "Yep, that's what I'm gonna go do." And she's like, "Daddy, tell me some of your jokes." I'm like, nope, I can't do that. So I have to make up jokes about chickens and stuff for her. But she's so cute, man. She's like, one day when I get bigger, I'm gonna tell jokes, and then she'll try to tell me a joke, and it's always hilarious. It's usually something about an animal, you know. She's so funny. She just started preschool, and it's like amazing. I can't believe she's already in preschool. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of just trying again. I'm trying to like get the form down, and I'm not really gonna worry about too much detail. I'm trying to basically create myself basically like a map. Um, and to be honest, I don't usually zoom in that much. I should zoom back out. I like to draw from a distance, so I can see, because like one thing I just noticed, just because I was zoomed in, I wasn't paying as much attention. Um, the nostril should be shorter. I want to make this a little bit tighter in here. All right. Your jokes are too dirty for Sienna. Yeah, of course they are. 100% they definitely are. Uh, Actually, I'm gonna make this. It's I don't when it comes to the comedy stuff, I don't try. I don't. I'm not like trying to do dirty jokes. I have a lot of funny stories, or you know, I can't help it sometimes, you know. Oh, and I think they're home, so there might be some background noise in just a bit here. So getting home from preschool. All right, so just kind of doing some rough structure here on the nose. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. All right. So, like I said, this is just rough. The I'm just trying to get something down so that when I start blocking in, there's like some structure. But this will probably end up changing a little bit while I block in. Um, but I want to try to suggest where these eyes would go, and there's a lot of like real good character in those eyes, like a lot of nice like curves and like little bumps like up in the edge here. These are all like real nice for character. I'm just gonna suggest by just putting um, you know just a basic basic shape for now, because that's one of those things where it's not really worth at this point to get caught up in all the detail. It can be a trap, so just you just want to think about it. Keep it in mind when you go to detail. And right now I'm just trying to think about these shapes and how I want to kind of capture these shapes here. I want to have part of this guy's cheek popping out here as well. But so even though like the cheek starts out like just underneath here, I want to pop it up. I think like this. Just want to kind of pop it up so it just shows that form a little bit more, and it makes it more three-dimensional, and it's also funnier, you know. I want to make sure I see. So you working on a Cintiq? Yeah, yes I am. I'm on. This is a 27-inch Cintiq. I don't know if you guys have heard of Sense Labs, but they have they sent me a tablet to try out, and it's supposed to be pretty awesome. I have been working on a crazy deadline lately that I haven't had any free time, so I haven't gotten to mess with it yet. But I'm gonna start playing with that soon and record some demos with it. But from everything I've seen, it looks really cool. And let's see, this kind of comes out more. See, as I'm drawing this, I'm seeing more of this like this action that comes down here like this, and so I'm gonna move this crease more like this in this direction. I kind of jump around too. You'll notice I don't stay in one area for too long. Kind of moving around. It's kind of like sculpting. Pushing the clay around a little bit. So I want to make sure that I'll be able to start blocking some things in here. So trying to work a little quicker now. So tomorrow at 11 a.m. my time, Central Time, I'll be a part of a something with Lightbox where a bunch of artists are drawing together. So that'll be interesting, kind of fun. Did that last year. It was pretty cool. Let's see. If anybody has any other kinds of questions or anything, feel free to ask away. All right, so let's work on this side real quick. And actually, I want that. You can see how the curve of the or above this eye is actually a lot closer. And I'm gonna adjust this nose too. So this comes in. So what I was gonna say is this can be up a little bit closer, so I'm actually going to just move it up. There you go. That way I can have fun with that shape as well. But I one thing I believe in when it comes to caricature, just like in order to capture like real solid likeness is don't be afraid to slow down. Once you it's one thing to just start to blocking in, you know, doing a quick block in, but once you have that, I encourage you to just slow down a little bit and look at the structure and the way that the features are communicating to one another, the shapes, because like there's little things like you'll start to notice once you slow down, like little designs and flows. Like there's like a nice flow up here, and I want to make sure I get that flow. It's pretty much where I had it, but I want it to kind of come in, and then like as this is coming into the other side, there's like a nice flow again, like with the shadows here in that socket. That's going to help me decide where I'm going to place the other eye. And so, and also this eye, the other eye here, it starts around here. It starts lower. It starts lower down on this side, and there is a nice swoop to it. So there's a lot of like character and things you want to kind of just take your time and like really look at those shapes and how they're interacting with one another. Okay. and this swoops down like this, pops up. All right, so like I said before, this is like just like gonna be guidelines for when I start blocking this in, and there's like this nice swoop in here too. Using the word swoop a lot. Swoop. All right. So SenseLab sent you a medium tablet. Yes. I'm not sure exactly the size. How did your NFTs auction? Let's go. Um, so the NFT thing, I sold one. Um, I have two on Foundation right now. They've been up there for months, but I sold one pretty quick, and for a decent amount. Wasn't like crazy, but it it helps. Every little penny counts. But to be honest, like people say like in order to really be successful with it, you really gotta commit and put a lot into it, and you have to be on Twitter constantly, and you have to be like just networking with all these people about it and stuff. And I just don't have the time for that stuff. I just I have way too much that I'm doing, and so I think I don't really know much about it. To me, it seems like it's slowed down. I also was a part of a group show, and I sold a couple pieces that way. So I was able to make a few $1,000s doing the NFT thing. But again, like I'm not. I don't really know that much about it, to be honest. Like it's something that still seems strange to me. I have friends that have done really well with it, and I just don't. I think I need to spend more time. You know, looking into it more, and it's just hard to commit to it. I don't know. To me, it seems like it's slowed down quite a bit, but I've heard from other people that it's not. It's picking up. And so I might not be the best person to ask about that stuff. Um, what I was hoping for is when everything was hot, I was hoping to be able to put in, my my time covers, which are historical pieces like my Pope Person of the Year cover and my last Biden Kamala Person of the Year cover. So you can see that I started editing this forehead now. I started adding more to it because I realized that I can. Because once I slow down here, I'm starting to notice a lot more things that I didn't see when I was drawing fast. So, but yeah, I think the NFT thing is kind of cool, but it's still kind of a confusing thing for me. Like it's just it's very strange. Like you know, like I see some pieces and I'm like, I don't understand why that thing is selling. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think it really takes a lot of time and commitment um, and it's been really crazy time for me. Like we had to move. We didn't want to move. We had to, and then other things happened. Uh, Sorry, what's this thing? Not a Cintiq alternative prototype. Good to have another alternative tablet. Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a good chance that you know. I heard they're going to be making something like a Cintiq, and so I'd be really curious to try that as well. Um, you know, I've always been happy with my Cintiq with Wacom. Um, and I started off using tablets like years ago. Um, and you know, a tablet is a really nice. If you can't afford a Cintiq, a tablet works great. And if it's a really nice tablet, like this Sense Labs thing looks really really nice, and I can't wait to play around with it. I just have to give myself a little bit of time to do that. But I've got a 1 year old and I've got almost a 4 year old, and teenagers, and a wife, and work, all this kind of stuff. Teaching for schoolism. There's a lot of stuff. So, anyways, what I was saying is like the you know a lot of different things have come up. So, moving and everything was crazy, and we had to move, and we weren't expecting to move, and it was just a crazy time. But it ended up working out where we were able to actually leave Chicago and buy our first home. So we got a home out in the burbs. Still getting adjusted to that because that's very strange. It's weird being in Chicago for 26 years and then all of a sudden, being in Chicago or being in the burbs outside of Chicago. Um, a lot less gunshots, which my family really likes. Um, and it's strange. It's been weird how nice everybody is in the suburbs. Like that's a very strange thing that I'm not used to. People actually say hi when they walk by, and in where I lived, like you don't really stop and say hi to people. You just keep walking. So that's been strange. But I really like it. Um, we have a yard. You know, the kids can play in the yard, and that's just such an awesome, awesome change from living in the city for so many years. Um, so yeah, we love it. It's been really cool. All right, so let's. I want to start blocking in soon, so I don't want to draw too much more. I think I've got enough. It's going to kind of quickly suggest this chin here. I like this chin being small and kind of tucked in there. It gives more emphasis to the mustache. Um, let's see here. Okay. And I'm supposed to be going to. Uh, Actually, I'm going to erase this. I want to push this more. I'm supposed to be going to France very soon. There's a annual show that happens every year, and in this really cute little village in France. And every year they celebrate the world, caricaturists and cartoonists, from all over the world. And this year I'm the guest of honor. Me and Jan op de Beek. And it's really cool. They're gonna have like 80 pieces of mine hung and framed in an exhibit, and so it's gonna be really interesting. This is the 40th year they're celebrating, so I'm really excited about that. So I'm gonna be in France very soon. So if any of you are from France, it'd be really good to see you. Um, and let me look it up real quick since I'm talking about it. Let's see here. Because I am blanking on the name of it right now. Let's see here. So it's the Saint Jocelyn Martel Salon International. Um, and yeah, it's the 25th of September through the 3rd of October. So that's gonna be really cool, and it's the 40th year. So that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing Jan de Beek. He's a good friend and someone I look up to. He's a great artist, and it's gonna be pretty cool. And I'm only going for a few days because I don't want to be away from my family very long. and I have a lot of work to do, so got deadlines. But it will be nice, nice to get away for just a little bit. All right. Yeah, less gunshots, people saying hi, fresh air in their yard. Lame. Yeah, it's so lame. It's awesome, man. It's so good being in the suburbs, you know. And the cool thing is I have this yard, and the cool thing about the yard is it came with a koi pond. So I've got like 8 to 10 fish in my backyard. I got this like little like pond in the side, and it's like a beautiful garden. And so I go and I feed the fish in the morning and sit on the patio. Sorry, my kids are getting kind of loud. Sorry about that. They're like, shut up, cute little kids. But yeah, it's really cool. Um, the fish are awesome. I love feeding them and stuff. I have a lawnmower now. I have one that doesn't work and one that does. And it's very frustrating because the one that works is an electric lawnmower, which is annoying because it has to be plugged in the entire time. The one that doesn't work is one that my dad gave me and said, "Oh, it's an amazing lawnmower. It's going to be great for you." And I haven't gotten it to work yet, and it's so frustrating. Um, but I actually do enjoy mowing the lawn uh, and that sort of a thing. It's cool. All right, so I'm gonna get carried away here and keep doing all this. I'm gonna suggest the shapes here. So this shoulder, blah blah blah. Um, yeah, I got a wheelbarrow, so I feel like an adult now. Gotta have a wheelbarrow because I gotta clean up sticks and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. Sorry. All right. So any other questions or anything? You could always move back deep into Chicago. Yeah. Uh, let's see. Jason, are you familiar with the work of late artist Carlos Nine? I am not sure who that is. And thank you, Miguel. Appreciate that. It's interesting to think for someone like me. I have lived in Canada all my life, in smaller towns, so yards are such a part of my growing up. It would be nice for your kids. Yeah, my kids love it. I'm not even kidding you. Like I walk out on I have like a really nice deck. It's really huge, and I love to go out there and I'll just sit there and I'll stare at my yard. We got these big trees, and it's just like what's relaxing, you know. It's big. So even during the day when it's sunny, there's like a nice shade usually, and um, it's so nice to sit out on the porch and just like have a glass of wine. And there's I've seen fox, I've seen raccoons, bunnies, squirrels, lots of birds. It's just so amazing. Yeah, I moved to Chicago when I was 18 with like nothing, no money in my pocket. You know, lived in the city, saw every crazy thing you can think of. I've been attacked a couple times, um, and yeah, it's been an interesting 26 years from 18 till now. So it's a pretty good feeling to like, it's not I don't have nothing against the city, but like when I first moved there, it was like, I love the city because I grew up in the middle of the woods, up in the North Woods in Wisconsin, and so you know moving to Chicago was so cool. I was like, yeah, this is a big city, and After 26 years, I'm ready, and I don't live that far away. It's really quick drive. So if I actually did stand up in Chicago a week ago, I had a show at the Comedy Bar. Really cool place, and so it's really easy. I just hop on the highway and bloop, I'm in Chicago. It takes me like 35, 40 minutes, and I'm there. So it's not a big deal. It's not that I can't go hang out in Chicago if I want or that kind of thing. So, but I don't really need to go to Chicago because where I'm at now has everything you could possibly need, um, plus safety for the most part. So, and now that I'm in my 40s, I really like safety, and I really like my kids being able to grow up with a yard and my dog can run around and all that stuff. So it's pretty exciting. So, all right. So you see, I'm kind of like blocking in kind of quick now because I want to start putting some value into this thing, some paint. Um, let's see here. I'm just gonna kind of put in some quick shade in there. All right. You know what? I should save this. Walrus man sketch. Man, can't believe I didn't think about that. Okay, so, anyways, there's enough going on here. It's looking cool. It's looking fresh. It's looking walrusy. And I feel like when doing these kind of demo things, like it seems to go so fast, and I mean I could spend the entire time just drawing and doodling, but kind of jonesing to block some stuff in. So anyways, let me zoom this back out. And see if there's anything going on here. I am excited to mow my lawn, Megan. Are you going to do more drawing streams in the future, or is this limited to Lightbox? I'll do some more. Like, this is one thing I was going to mention before, and actually, thank you for reminding me. Um, I I want to start a Patreon. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but because of everything this has been a crazy year with us having to move, and a lot of personal things have been happening in my family that have not been good. But don't worry, we're okay. It's just been a rough time, family wise. So there's been some things, and I just haven't been able to commit to that yet. But I have some plans, and I would like to do some live streams, but I would also like to do a Patreon thing. Um, and I'm trying to figure out what the best thing to do for that is. Um, so there's some things I'm thinking about, you know. So for those, I don't know how many of you know this as well, but I also do host an art podcast called Face the Truth. You can find it on my YouTube channel. It's also on iTunes and all over the place for audio apps. But I spent a lot of time on that as well. I interview lots of awesome artists from all over the world each week, and so that takes up some time. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, I'm almost to 150 episodes of that, and I've had a lot of amazing guests, and I'm trying to figure out, like, what am I doing with that? Like, do people want me to keep doing it? Um, it takes a lot of time. There's a lot. I enjoy doing it quite a bit. It's fun talking to people, but it takes a lot of time, and just booking people and stuff. But I have a lot of amazing people that I'm supposed to have on soon. Um, and some really amazing people that said, "Yeah, I'll do it," and I'm like, "Oh, this is amazing," and then they keep pushing for different dates and so on. So it's sometimes it can be really difficult to do the podcast. All right, enough with this. Enough with this shenanigans. So that's really what these are. These are shenanigans. All right. So this is I would not call this a tight drawing. This is very loose, and it took me a little bit longer than I was hoping. But let's start blocking this in, and I'm gonna look if I have any more questions or anything. Um, exactly, Fernando. He sounds amazing. You sit with a glass of wine, take a sip, and see your kingdom. Yeah, it's not huge, but it's big enough for me and my family, and we love it. Um, I'll tell my wife that we have a kingdom. Um, you probably like Carl's work. I think when you're over in France, maybe you bump into each other. Oh, I love Thierry too. Yeah, he's amazing. And yes, I have interviewed Thierry. He's an amazing artist. And Face the Truth, 150 episodes. Yes. And thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. Hi, Jason. Thank you for taking the time to answer your questions. I'm just curious what interests you the most of this caricature. And second hand place to buy a Cintiq. Oh, any second hand place to buy a Cintiq. I don't know about buying Cintiqs. Um, by the way, I'm gonna switch to a brush that I like a lot. It's called 24. Um, and make sure Shape Dynamics is on. And let's test it out real quick. Okay. There's like a little bit of a delay right now. Um, but I don't know where you can buy a used Cintiq. I'm not sure about that. I'm sorry. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create um, I'm gonna create a new layer under this layer, and I'm going to just fill it in, and I'm gonna start blocking in some values. Now, a lot of times I don't use layers. I just start doing it, blocking in it. But I want to do this so I can keep my lines for now, and also kind of just show you what I'm thinking. Sometimes too it helps if you want, just switch your reference to grayscale. Um, and I can do one thing you can do here. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and go back and just paste it on top so I don't lose it. So, anyways, what I was going to say is, you can one thing that you can do is you can do like a quick um, black and white block in, just to get some of your values down, your structure down, and then you can start doing like a color mode thing on top and like laying some color in. And I do that sometimes just to be quick for block-ins. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. Um, this. Hold on a second. My pen pressure does not seem right. Oh, here we go. That's why. Okay. So let's get rid of that. Start over. And actually, what I'm going to do is this. I want to make this even darker. So I'm going to. I want to make the background just a little bit darker. All right. Um, what art advice would you give to your younger self? Uh, TJ says Wacom has officially refurbished eBay. You can buy secondhand antiques from. So that's pretty cool. Thanks, TJ. And so, what art advice would you give your younger self? Um, don't marry your first wife. That would be the probably the most important thing, because that affects the art, or it affected the art, the career, and everything. So don't do that. Um, and that's pretty much it. Now I would say, you know, work really hard even though that's what I did. But to be honest, I don't really know. I mean, I feel like things work out pretty good. I've always worked really hard. I've always believed in myself. Um, I think I would have maybe told myself to start painting sooner because I waited. I was afraid to paint, and painting seemed so kind of scary to me early on in my career. So, and when I was first getting started, I would do it was mostly like inking, and I did some watercolor and kind of stuff. But I wasn't I would paint with watercolors, but it was more like coloring in the lines. Like, it wasn't something that was very you know I guess I wouldn't call it painting. I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I just didn't understand painting, and a lot of people, they know my dad's a professional artist and they see his work and they're like, oh, that's where he got it from. But it's not true. Um, I moved out when I was 18, and when I was younger, I kind of blew my dad off when it came to art stuff. I wanted to figure it out on my own, and my dad knew I was like pretty serious, and so he was kind of hard on me when it came to art, like not in a mean way, but like he had it. I think he was a professional teacher, so he taught his students a certain way, and then with me, it seemed a little bit different. Maybe it's just my perspective. I'm not dogging on my dad. He's an amazing guy and a really good artist. But like I think because of that, I needed to go my own way, do my own thing. Um, so yeah, I think one of the only things I can think of is I would tell my younger self to start learning how to paint like way before. I mean, I've been painting for 18 years now, which is hard to imagine. Um, but I've been drawing like hardcore since I was a little kid. Like I was just obsessed with drawing. So I wish I would have started when I was even younger, because But I don't know how much it would make a difference. To be honest, because I've worked very hard, and I think I caught up. Um, and then also don't get married when you're 19. Don't do it. Or 20. I would think I was 20. Uh, Welcome artist says thank you. This Earth says just as great. Thanks. Comics legend. Had just an awesome demo. Who is your favorite comedian, and have you ever done a caricature of them and given it to them? Man, who's my favorite comedian? I've done caricatures. Um, well, I've in the last couple of years I've become really good friends with Kevin Nealon. Him and I talk almost every week, and he's I love his comedy. He's a really and he's been like really coming along with his art as well. And and I've done a drawing. Um, sorry, I've done a sketch of him, and I've given him. He's got I think one or two originals of mine. Like I gave him a water one of my first watercolor paintings ever. I gave to him. But he's an awesome dude, really good comedian, obviously. Um, Same with Steve Byrne. But my favorite comedians, um, Bill Burr is probably one of my favorite comedians. I really love Tom Segura. Um, and I've talked with Tom a few times. He's I got to paint him for a movie poster this last year, and he responded to me and told me how much he loved the painting and stuff like that. And he's following. He's a fan. He likes my work. So to me, that's pretty cool because I really respect his. He's probably one of my favorite comedians of all time. I think he's amazing. Plus, I love listening to his podcast while I work. So the fact that he said he loved my work that's pretty cool. Um, I also got to paint Bill Burr for that movie poster as well. It's for the opening act, and I got to hear from a lot of the comics that I painted, so that was cool. But I don't know. I like I love Anthony Jeselnik, Bobby Lee. Um, let's see, who else? There's so many. Um, Jim Jeffries, Andrew Schultz, Shane Gillis. Dude, there's so many. I don't know. It's there's a lot. Jessica Curson, she's amazing. Craig Conant. Yeah. As far as like what comics influence me in my comedy, I would say it's probably more like Bill Burr and Tom Segura for sure are huge influences on my comedy. John Mulaney, Mark Normand. So I could go on and on and on. So, anyways, what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of, you know, I'm underneath my sketch lines. So this is like a fun, safe way to start blocking in your values, and this way I'm not going to lose any of my lines, and I'm not again at this stage I'm not going to zoom in. I'm focusing on the whole piece at once, and I'm just trying to block in, you know, basic values here. I'm looking at the anatomy and the structure, and pushing things that way as far as the values go. But again, like I'm not committed to like you can change things. Like I just try to go with the feeling I'm seeing right now, and and just oops. Like I'm trying to look at the brightest brights, you know, and the darkest darks, and then try to balance in between those. But I really do feel it's important to not zoom in. There's no reason. It might not be as nice for you guys watching right now because it might be a little bit too small. But this is how I do it. I kind of start off this way from a distance, and it just makes the most sense for me. That's not how I always or I used to work. I used to like zoom in and just focus on one spot and render it just as perfect as I could. Which that's one way you can do it, but this way I find is more natural for me now, and I feel like I do a much better job, and I end up like enjoying the process more, as well as I end up getting a lot more kind of brush strokes and things like that that I prefer. And by the way, this is so much fun. I've been working on some advertisement work and I'm illustrating a book, and it's fun, but it's also not fun. It's not. I don't get to kind of do. I have to do. It's like more like corporate type stuff. So this is just like a lot of fun to be able to sit here and draw. And so I appreciate um, y'all hanging out with me. And if anyone's got suggestions for the me doing a Patreon, I'm definitely open to suggestions and different things. What I'm wanting to do, what I'm thinking of doing, is keeping it simple and doing like a $5 a month tier, and that's it. There's no other things. It's just that, and then I'm gonna offer like a few hours of painting a month. Um, Something like that with maybe prints available and stuff like that. So, but I don't know. I'm still developing that idea. So, like I'll do like color demos and stuff like that. So right now, like this section here that's like brighter in value with shine, I'm just gonna kind of suggest that for now. Um, the surrounding values, I'm gonna lightly block those in. So hopefully you guys are digging it. I'll zoom in a little bit real quick so people can see how it's looking while I take a sip of water. Nick Swartzen is an awesome. I love. He's hilarious. Um, will we be able to watch this again at another time on YouTube? I think so. I think we'll be able to save it. Um, Yo, Jason Munya here from South Africa. Any thoughts on Trevor Noah with regards to stand-up comedy? Sorry if I missed this, but are you creating a layer for each color, or is this all in one layer? Um, so Megan says I'm terrified of painting, so this is great. um, so Munya, first, yes, I love Trevor Noah as well. I think um, he's a very funny guy. I love Dave Chappelle too. Gosh, I just realized I forgot Dave Chappelle. I love Dave Chappelle. Um, there's too many comics, man. Sebastian Maniscalco. Um, dude, Chris Rock's most recent stand up. It came out. I think it's like a special edition of Tambourine. It's on Netflix. It is hilarious. It's really inspiring. I recommend that. Um, and as far as layers, Munya, um, I have a layer of gray underneath the sketch, and then I have a layer right now underneath the sketch of just blocking in values. So hopefully, that answers your question. All right, so this is coming along so far for the block in. Um, so this is basically like the stage one. Um, this is too bright. This is like basically like a stage one where just getting the basics down here, um, and then what I'll do next is I'll start painting on top of it, on top of my lines. Um, and like I said, like this doesn't you don't need to do it this way. You can just start painting on top of your lines right away, which is a lot of the times what I do. But I'm doing it this way just to show you this is kind of a fun way to start blocking in so you don't lose what you have. And then you can kind of, so this is just a little bit more control this way. Dave and Bill are the goats. That is true. Yeah, um, Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr. One of the best Bill Burr stand-ups ever is when he hosted SNL this year. He just killed it, and it was so good. It's like an amazing 7 minutes of comedy. Um, I saw that and I watched it over and over again. I was like, dang. I really enjoy Pete Holmes as well. Pete Holmes is a really good comic. Um, he's so smart. Like his comedy is smart. Like I get frustrated, and I can't believe I forgot Louis C.K. I know people have issues with him, but you know what? Get over it. He's one of the best of all time. I love his comedy. Um, you know, not everyone's perfect all the time. You know, but people need to grow up a little bit, move on, and realize that not everyone is perfect all the time. We all make mistakes. Doesn't mean you throw someone away. Have some friggin' integrity, people. Um, Not the biggest fan of Jerry Seinfeld, by the way. Um, my wife bought me his book that came out this last year for Christmas, and I started reading it. And to be honest, I started getting really bored with his material. It's basically a book about stand up. It's called "Is This Anything?" And there's some things that are inspirational about it, and but I just I don't know. Like a lot of his stuff, I'm like, I don't really think it's funny, man. It's just not my taste, I guess. Some of his stuff is hilarious, but I'm just not a big fan. You know, some comics are just amazing, and it's controversial to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I love Bill Cosby. How people are gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, you can't say that." Like, yeah, I can. I just did. I think Bill Cosby is one of the best comedians of all time. Uh, he's a he's a pervert. He's got some serious problems, but his comedy is like iconic. It's legendary, and he's amazing. Not an amazing person, not a good person, but a good comic. Um, Eddie Murphy, of course, amazing. Uh, so let's see. Hi from Italy. You think it would be possible to see your final render in this session as well? Uh, I don't think so. I mean, I've only got like 20 something minutes left. Um, and but you know what? Maybe I will continue this um, and do more of this in the future. Maybe I'll do another stream and just work on this more if you guys, if that'd be something people would be interested in. Um, so let's see. Let's see. But one thing, you know, that I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to capture the light that I'm seeing, and it doesn't have to be, I'm trying to focus on the brushwork, and but the overall shapes I'm seeing, like, but I want to capture the values as well. So that's why I'm kind of doing bigger strokes here. Um, so the way I look at it is it's about um, you know the drawing, strong drawing, and that getting that foundation down, and the next step would be about the values. Um, and there's, like I said before, there's different ways that this could be done structurally. Like, I like the silhouette here, but the more I look at him, the more I'm just seeing like this, like everything's like tucked into this sausage. For example, like what I'm gonna do, just I'm not gonna keep this. I'm just gonna show you something real quick. I'm gonna select all and copy, and then I'm gonna go back, make sure. Whoop, go back, and I'm gonna paste this on top. So Let this save real quick. Oh, thanks, Io. That'd be awesome, man. That's encouraging. I hope people will join the Patreon once I do that. So thank you so much. Yeah, and I agree, Megan. Got to separate the art from the human sometimes. Yep. I miss Louis C.K., one of the first victims of cancel culture. Yep. Bill Barrett. I'll always defend Cosby's work, but I always condemn the man. Exactly. I agree with you 100%. Cosby's, as a comedian, he's awesome, but not the other stuff. So, this is just, I don't think I'm gonna do this way. I'm just thinking, structurally, um, like, there's part of me thinks like the forehead could even come out even more on this side. So I try to keep myself open to like possibilities like this. I could push this more. Um, where like where this would come down more. And and then this changes all of this up here. So I want to look at this. So this is what I mean about staying open with it. Um, so I'm gonna stay open with it right now and just see where does it lead me. All right. Okay. All right. So again, this is one nice thing about working digitally is it allows you to kind of just play around a little bit more. But now I can't go under my lines. Now, I'm committed. If I do this, I'm committed to painting on top, which is totally fine. I don't mind that either. But the reason I thought about doing this is because I see like this I also see like this just this curve. Oh, that was terrible. Like this kind of curve shape here, just like you know, it's very round and curvy. Um, so when I look at this now, like this kind of that structure kind of looks better to me. Pushing that shape out more. See what I'm saying? See how now it feels like there's something missing to me. I mean, I don't know. Either way works, but I kind of like this because he's kind of got like a big meathead. You know, it's very meaty, and so I think I'm gonna go with this change. I'll keep those other layers because maybe if I work on this more, I can kind of share a little bit of this. Um, Makes more sense this way, I think. All right. So, but yeah, I'm definitely not going to be able to finish this one all the way right now, but I do think that because I'm having so much fun with this, I do want to finish this. So I'll probably like do end up doing another stream where I can work on it more. But it depends on my deadlines. I'll be more free when I get these big deadlines off my back. So, all right. Jason, hey Greg, this looks looking kick ass. Just remembered today that Lightbox was happening and was able to catch you live. Awesome, man. Thank you. Yeah, I would have no problem doing this for hours more, to be honest. I'm having a lot of fun painting this, but I'm gonna have to go shortly after 4 o'clock my time because um, I have a I'm actually in the middle of a deadline right now that I have to work on. So I'd rather be doing this though. So this is a nice break. So um, the reason I go back to blocking in this background like this is because the background values are going to depend on how I judge, the values on the rest of the face. Um, and so I want to get them kind of close so when I can kind of go back and forth between the background and the front. Oh, sorry. I hope everything is fine. I just got a message saying that um, there might be some buffering um, uh, issues right now. So hopefully everything's. Is everyone seeing this okay right now? Hopefully it's working fine. What was I saying? Ruined my train of thought. Choo choo. Uh, I forget what I was saying. But anyways, yeah. Oh, I think I was just saying how I wish I could just keep going on this, but I got to get this deadline done. Like I know a lot of people are hanging and chilling on the forums and talking stuff. I haven't gotten to go do that yet. It's just been crazy, crazy at home, deadlines and life. All right, so it's starting to come together. Starting to see some of the structure here. Or I am, anyways. Let's see here. So basically, like this is still like starting to block in, getting things close. You know, the next phase would be like you know zooming in more now and starting to detail. So, but I'm gonna do that in just a little bit. I'll start doing a little bit of that. But I'm still working on some of the structure here. Okay, cool. Okay, thank you for this demo. Can you share with us what you do love the most and hate the most about your career as an artist? Um, so Stella wants to know what I love the most and hate the most about my career. I love that I'm making have a career. I love that. Um, and actually, real quick, before I do anything else, I want to copy this, and Okay. So I'm just saving this other layer here so I don't forget that. So I and I'm gonna try to draw while I do this. So I love that I get to do this for a living. I love all the different artists I've met, and just I never gets old doing magazine covers. Every time that happens, every time I get a job, I'm very grateful and excited about it. Uh, but what I don't like is it's really stressful. Like I don't always know when the next check's coming, or the job, when it's coming, when I'm getting paid. So that can be very very stressful. And and now that I have a mortgage, it's even more stressful. So I would say real life shit, that gets in the way. Um, Dealing with clients that take forever to pay, um, that kind of stuff. That's I could definitely live without that. And but I mean, you know, things seem to work out. It's just sometimes it can be really stressful, and sometimes you got to do a job because you have to do a job, and it might not be inspiring or fun. But then I got to remember, I could be working at a Home Depot or something like that. So this is a lot better than that. So you just got to have the right perspective, right attitude. Um, and then someone said, a weird one from personal experience. Do you listen to music while working on pieces of artwork? Then when you see the art later, like a day or so, the very music you played before pops in your head. Yeah, that actually. Uh, I mean, that happens. Yeah, like, but it could be anything. Like, I listen to a lot of podcasts while I work. There's a lot of comedians I like to listen to. It just keeps me entertained, and but yeah, I'll like look at a piece of art and I can remember like what podcast I was listening to when I painted that. So yeah, that happens. Um, so yeah, when I painted like a lot of times like when I paint musicians, I'll listen to their music while I paint them because that kind of helps. Or sometimes if I'm painting a certain actor or celebrity, I might listen to clips of them or interviews. It's just it's not like a magic trick. It's not like it makes you draw better. It's just kind of you kind of just feel it a little bit, if that makes sense. Um, all right, so I'm gonna do like a little bit of shadow under here for now. Just a real quick shadow. So one thing that's kind of nice too, if you have everything on one layer like this, I'll go over to like a mixer brush and kind of go in here and just kind of start softening some of these lines. And because it's values, you can just kind of start blending these together a little bit. And the brush that I'm using now it's a Kyle Webster brush. It's actually got a little bit of texture to it, and it's really nice for this sort of thing. But there's like some of these lines right in here, I can kind of just soften them up. And like if I got I want to put a lighter value there, I can go up to here and hit dry, and then select like a lighter value, and now I can kind of just go in there and do like some lighter values in here. That's way too bright, right? But then I go back to my wet brush and I can kind of just soften that in there like that. And it's still a little bit too bright. That's okay. You just keep kind of going in there. So this is a fun way to. I've been doing this a lot more lately, and it feels nice. It's almost like oil painting. Um, it's like something I've been doing only recently. Um, but it's a nice way to kind of blend things in there. And you know what? I don't mind that you see some of the sketch lines in there. Um, it's more you know organic, I guess. It feels like to me, anyways. But this is a good way to use some of the sketch lines that you put down as value that you can kind of mix in and blend into your work. So you can see like it's starting to kind of soften up a little bit. I feel like talking like what's his name? Bob Ross, like, ah, yes. Isn't this nice? Getting our values correct, getting them as close as possible. It's nice. It's a good feeling. Makes you feel really good. Who doesn't like to feel good? Everyone likes to feel good. It's like the creepiest Bob Ross. That's really creepy. Uh, but what I like about how this is looking now is it's starting to have like a real organic type feel to it. Um, uh, it's starting to feel, and what I mean by organic, I guess, is starting to feel, you know, like meat. It's starting to feel like skin texture and that sort of a thing. So putting in some. Let's do this a little bit more like that. There we go. Block in some more values, some happy values. These are some happy values that we like. We like these happy values. We'll put in these happy values. Oh, that's nice. That's some nice happy values. Yeah, okay. Whoop. See, it's too bright. Those values are too happy. Gotta settle down. Settle those values down. Paint happy strokes. Everyone likes happy strokes. Happy strokes for happy folks. I can hear my 1-year old upstairs. I don't know if you can hear her, but she's going, Daddy, Daddy. I hear you, my baby. I shall be with you soon. So it is 4 o'clock already. I can't believe it. But I'm going to paint just for a couple more minutes. Just put a couple more suggestions down. And so if there's any other questions, I'll take your questions now. Because pretty soon I got to go. I don't know what that noise means. It's getting less creepy. Okay, thank you, Megan. Terrible Bob Ross. Yeah. Happy little jowls. He's got happy little jowls. Uh, yeah. I have to listen to him. If I can listen to Bob Ross, I think I could do it. Just gotta listen to it. I haven't listened to him for a while. He's fun to watch though. All right, so we're gonna switch it to the wet brush again, and some of these areas in here, I'm just gonna kind of push it along. Get that nice brush stroke. Getting really nice in there. But yeah, this is I really like this the mixer brush a lot. I never, for years I kind of ignored it, but I really like it now. I've been using it a lot. And I like how you can kind of just put some values together that are really close to what you're looking for and then just kind of blend them in together. It does remind me of painting when I paint with oils or, you know, even like watercolor a little bit. It's kind of cool. But yeah, this is fun, man. I'm having a good time. Let's see. Do you give different sound effects to different part of the face when you draw? Um, that's funny. I keep hearing like a weird noise, and I don't know what that means. So if someone's doing something, um, and I'm not seeing it, I don't know. Maybe it's just when people do an emoji or something. I have no idea. Anyways, I think I'm answering everyone's questions. But do I make sound effects when I draw certain parts of the face? I imagine I do sometimes. I don't know. Depends on who I'm uh, painting. Like I do like a lot of people know that I do a Donald Trump impersonation. Um, but when Obama was president, I used to paint him a lot, and I would do a lot of I would just be sitting there painting him, and I'd be like, look, look, Michelle's not gonna like this. No, no, just like stupid little um, just conversations to myself, like drawing Donald Trump, be like, this is fantastic. This is a fantastic drawing. Okay. Everybody loves this drawing. I love how you drew my lips. Beautiful lips. Everybody knows it. Fantastic, brilliant lips. Okay. And just entertaining myself. And, all right. So here, let's put a little bit of fuzz in there. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, there's still ways to go with this, but I think you can see how it's coming along. Um, oh, let's do that. Let's do this. A little bit of value in there. See, with this, you can, you block in with I like to block in with the dry brush like this, and it'll leave like some nice, you know, kind of organic feel and brushwork to it, and then switch it over to the wet, where I can kind of go in there and just soften it just a little bit. And again, I like the organicness of that. I like the way that it feels. Because you can get some nice results with brushwork that way. So let's do this. Uh, First Patreon stream can be a Bob Ross character after you practice because your Obama and Trump are great. Oh, hey, what's up, Kyle? I'm using your mixer brushes right now, bro. Uh, oh, the noises are subscriptions. Thank you, man.
I did not realize that. Have you ever thought about crowdfunding a caricature book similar to Tom Richmond and his mad-inspired claptrap parody book? I've thought about it. I don't know. I have thought about that, but it's something to think about. That could be cool. Um, so thank you guys so much. Thank you, Fernando. Thanks, Kyle. Word up. I love Kyle's brushes. Um, what was I just about to do? I keep distracting myself. Let's see. Put in the shadow. So yeah, I like to put in like some of these. Use the dry brush to like block in a couple. Values like this, and then use the like even that's too dark, right? You think it's too dark, but it's not because I'll make an adjustment like this. I want some lighter values in here, like this, and then take the white brush and come in here and that spot. It's not too dark. Kind of just block it in there. Rub it in there. Just get it in. Get it in there. And if it's still too dark, you can kind of go in on top. But this is pretty good for this stage of it. Like I said, I haven't really zoomed in much. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see it's still very loose. And the next phase of this is to get in there and tighten things up a little bit more. That's the next phase. But so far, I'm pretty happy with how this phase of it looks, and it's coming together. All right, so like, can soften some of this up. So like some of these things like might be a little bit too bright value wise, but it's okay because you can just push them back now. And it's like I said, it's got this nice organic painterly feel to it. So all right, so let's do this. Just for the video here, I'm going to just sign this bad boy. And save it. And then I'm going to zoom in just so you can see there's still a lot more that can be done. Still got a lot to do, but I think for the time spent, I feel really happy about it. So hopefully everybody enjoyed this. Um, let me look at the questions here. Thank you, Jared. You're killing it too. Um, Mr. Bad, yeah, I've been following his journey for a long time. Uh, oh, okay. I was very okay. I get what's going on here. Okay, yeah, that's on the list. Blah blah blah. Okay. Anyways, sorry. Let me zoom in real quick. Actually, I just gotta look at this text I got from my wife. Hold on a second. I'm supposed to be. She wants. I gotta go do stuff, and I'm. This is what I'm talking about. I'm supposed to be working on my deadline, but now I gotta go pick up something. Um. Ah. Anyways, so here is what I have so far. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Um, and thank you for your support. It always means a lot. Hopefully, you can check out the podcast. And if you're not following it, please follow the Face of Truth on Instagram. Or, well, you can follow on Instagram, but on YouTube and iTunes. And I also teach 2 classes for schoolism, so check that out. And I've got videos as well on Gumroad. You can just look up Gumroad Jason Seiler, and you'll find videos I have there. But let me just real quick zoom in so you can just see up close that it is still very very loose, you know. And this is totally fine. You can see some of these lines here from where I selected something and moved it. But I kind of like this. Even though it's digital, it's a work of art. It has an organic feel to it, and you're not meant to really look at it up here. You're meant to see it at more of a distance, and and it pulls itself together. So, but still, I would prefer it to be a little bit tighter and cleaner than that, and that's why I said the next phase of this would be zooming in like this and zooming in on the reference and actually start detailing these areas. And so I think I'll try to maybe do a live stream of that at some point as well, when things settle down for me a little bit. Um, and there's things I want to clean up. Like for example, I like the bottom of this lobe, and the shape, the overall shape of the shadow can be adjusted. It can be a lot softer, um, and that sort of a thing. Value wise, like this can all be lighter. So there's still a lot to do. Um, but anyways, hopefully this was fun for people and you enjoyed it. Sorry about the technical issues at the beginning. I'm an idiot, and I just I apologize. uh, so anyways, let me you know what? See, here's the thing. Once I start, I don't want to stop. I could do this for hours and hours and hours. Um, but I can't because I got to go pick up a new vanity for the bathroom that weighs 1 billion pounds, and I'm probably gonna have a hernia, and I need to go on a diet. So, anyways, I don't know how those two things are related, but trust me, they are somehow. So, anyways, thank you all for hanging out with me, and let's see. Sorry. See, this is what happens. I'm never gonna be able to stop, but I have to stop. So, anyways, I'm gonna save this for now, and after I do a couple more million things to it. All right. Anyways, I will come back to this guy because I'm having too much fun. So I will try to make an announcement of when I'll try to like plan a time where I'll stream again. So if people want to join in, I'll make that available. I'll let people know. Um, so for the time being, I'm going to have to call it. Um, this is one thing that I was gonna do earlier. I want to try to fix it real quick. Um, let's see. I wanted to smooth this side of his face. All right. Anyways, that's good for now. Let me look and see if there's any last questions here. Thank you so much for the great demo. Thank you, Patrick. That means a lot. Thank you, Megan. Awesome session. I appreciate that, Megan. Um, Stella says really fun and awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Stella. Really appreciate it. Welcome, artist. Thanks, Jason. Um, Rebecca. Oh, it's Rebecca. I know you. Awesome. Uh, and Cheesecake 3112 says thank you. You're welcome. Megan says Bob Ross thinks you are perfect just the way you are. Thank you, Megan. And Fernando says thanks, Jason. Keep on going. I can't. I gotta go to the store, man. As a married father, I suggest you actually leave. Thank you, Cliff. I'm going to do that. So, um, yeah, thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you all next time. All right.